Here's your Kevin.
Hey, guys, it's Amber.
And Kristen.
We are going to just hang out here a minute to give people time to get online with us, to get on the live. As many of you all know, May
You are being quiet.
I am being quiet.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
I mean, I can hear you.
But I mean, can you hear me through there?
Can you hear me now?
What about now?
Dude.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes. And we wanted to touch on that because a lot of people know that I struggle from mental health issues. So the suicide ideation and all of those things that, are taboo to talk about. I've dealt with them my whole life. So that's why we want to talk about this and make sure that people understand that you're not alone when you're fighting these things.
So we'll give it a few minutes to get people on here with us because I think
share it on your phone.
Mental health is like the insurance and stuff for it.
It is extremely hard to be covered on anything as far as mental health. That is one thing I will say. Kentucky is one of the worst states when it comes to your insurance carrying or covering anything mental health.
I don't think it's just Kentucky. I think it's insurance.
No, but
I'm saying Kentucky is bad.
Kentucky is one of the worst.
But insurance, period, I think is just horrible when it comes to mental health.
Well, and you talk about mental health, and then you've got to also put that in the same category as addiction and things as that such, because that is one thing. A lot of people, they piss me off because they say it's not a disease. Well, it is, because addiction runs off of mental health. You will never find somebody that's addicted that does not have mental health issues. And you can be addicted to shopping. It doesn't matter, but shopping fulfills something in you.
I don't know. I can't 100% agree with that. Yes, of course, once you get addicted, I think that it does cause a mental health problem in you. But as far as prior to that addiction, because there are so many people that I know.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, people that pick up, just street drugs like that. Okay,
yeah, or even prescription meds.
You can go and get put on pain medication because you've been in a car wreck or something, and then
you become
addicted.
Right.
And that's what
a lot of people. Does that mess with your mental state? Yes. Now absolutely. That I agree.
Well,
with,
and
yes.
You're also if you're on pain medication, you're in pain. Pain causes depression. That is one thing. Because I've had back surgery. I had to go to a pain clinic for years. Because they did not want to do surgery on me because I was so young, and I finally had back surgery at 29. And they were putting shots in my back. They were doing everything, and I was on Percocet 10s 3 times a day, and it was not touching my pain.
See, I don't. There's so
and
much
I'm an addict,
I don't understand so it's a problem. About the healthcare, which is a total different subject. Well, I get that, but the healthcare itself drives me insane because, look how long it took you to even for them to agree to having the back surgery that you needed and clearly needed. Now, for me, when I went with my hip, my doctor said, listen, we're going to try this once. It's not going to work. You're going to have back surgery. Let's go ahead and plan that. Now, for me, we're not doing that.
Well, and I wish I would have talked to some people prior to my back surgery, but the problem with mine was I had a disc that was herniated, and it was wrapped around my sciatic nerve. So my hips and my right leg, my butt, all the way down to my leg, I couldn't use. Some mornings I would get up and I couldn't even get out of bed. I know the dogs pulled me the other day, and it scared me because my back popped. And I have very bad back. So I already have arthritis in my lower back and things like that. So it's scary for me when things hurt my back, which I can move wrong. and know that the rest of the day. But because they put my surgery off so long, I now have permanent nerve damage. And it's my sciatic nerve, which is that whole right leg.
Right.
And, people don't understand when your butt cheek starts going numb and you can't sit on it because you can't feel it.
You can't walk, you can't do anything.
And that was the worst thing for me. Like how when your like legs or something go to sleep and you can they tingle. My whole butt, my hips, down my right leg.
My foot's tingling right now because my legs are crossed.
But it went all the way down, and it done that for like a year and a half after my surgery, because of that nerve, and they had numbed my nerve, and it felt like just tingly, and it
Jimmy gets tingly feelings like that.
It's hard to sleep. It's hard to move. It's hard to function.
But on the flip side of that, or back to what we were talking about.
Well, and that's that's what we were talking about though, is addiction and mental health and stuff, and that's how you were like, well, I kind of agree, but I don't.
Right.
Which that is why doctors had to diagnose it as a disease, because you don't know you're an addict until you pick it up. Like, I didn't know. I got hurt at 17 when I was cheering. I had no idea that when my mind would tell me I had to have that feeling.
I think that could probably be anybody though. Like, I would absolutely love to sit down with a professional, I don't want to say neurologist, because I don't know that would be the right profession that I'm thinking, but like the brain fascinates me.
Oh, it's so, there is so much about the brain. Some of your brain can die and you still be okay.
Yeah.
Like your moods might change and things.
I don't understand like some people's actions and reactions, and I'm just so fascinated with the brain itself. Like what I honestly, and you see those memes all the time that, like people say, I'll look at you and think, hello, is there anybody in there? Like, what makes you tick? I honestly am that person. Like, sometimes I can sit and listen to people and I'm like, what is going on in your brain?
It's funny because a lot of people, I mean, you and I have been told so many times we have a very light aura. Like, we're very bright. And I think that comes with being an empath, because that's why we want to know what's in your head.
Yeah.
Because I already feel what you feel. I want to know why you feel that way.
Right.
And it drives me nuts because a lot of people go, I'm an empath. I'm like, you have no idea what that feels like, because sometimes that is what drains me. Like, if I'm messaging you or something, I'm having a bad day, it's because I'm around somebody having a bad day, and
it drains you.
Yeah.
You take that out of it.
And it's very draining. A lot of people don't realize that. Even like,
and that's a very good point, especially with like mental health. It's because if you know that about yourself already, then it is extremely, and I mean extremely important, to be very careful of who you are around, who you choose to have in your company.
Yep.
And that's not, even if you're not aware of being an empath or whatever, if you are around somebody and you are physically draining to be around that person, that's a sign.
You shouldn't be around that person.
Yeah.
And see, I'm guilty of that because I want to fix everybody. So I will do that and drain the crap out of myself to help someone else. And that is like the most toxic. It's so toxic for me because you and I were talking last night. You're like, you need to talk to your doctor about getting different medications and things. And I went into depth with you.
Because with me, and I guess, and I don't want to make light of mental health, because I do understand how bad it is.
Yeah,
I do understand what goes on, with certain people and certain things and everything. But to me, and this goes back to, like, I would like to speak to somebody because I want to know how the brain works. Because to me, have I been depressed in a depressive state? Yes. Like, I've been there. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be depressed. But I also can pull myself out of that,
Yeah.
Like, it might take me a couple of days, but and that's not even just that. It is with anything. Like, if I'm hurting, then some doctor somewhere is going to fix me because I don't want to be hurt. If I have something mentally going on with me and I can't pull myself out of it, then somebody somewhere needs to fix me because I can't do that.
Yeah.
but there are some people that don't have that mentality, that can't have, I don't know how to word it correctly, honestly, like what I'm trying to say, but they're not able to do that themselves, or they're not able to reach out for help.
Yeah. Well, and you and I were talking about a story prior to going live, which was actually what took us so long. A man that had been getting help for years, I mean, over a decade, he ended up, killing his wife, his two sons, and his wife on his oldest son's graduation day. And he stabbed them to death. And he had been in a psychosis. They knew he had been. He wasn't eating, drinking, anything. So she had put him in the hospital. They put him in the mental hospital, and they did some kind of therapy.
He had electric shock therapy.
And they said he was in the 5% that has a bad reaction. And it sent him into a psychosis. They couldn't even get him to get up for water.
From the medication that they were treating him with.
Yeah.
Now, but this dated back, because he'd had issues since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
That dated back from 2009.
So 16 years.
So, like, I cannot wrap my head. And I seen that they were struggling to pay for his therapy.
Yes.
I don't know, of course, their case, if they had insurance. Do you know if they had insurance?
Yeah, they had insurance because she was a teacher. I remember reading that she was a teacher. But she was the sole provider because of his mental health. And it wasn't laziness. Like, he genuinely was just not able. And a lot of people don't understand that's what depression and those strong things can do to you. They take you and completely drown you.
Yeah.
So, and I have been at a point where Justin had to completely take care of me because I was pregnant. They took me off my medications because they weren't safe in pregnancy. And my depression got so bad because I got so fat. I just did not look like myself. I was just miserable. I would not get out of bed. I lived in my bed for probably 3 months. And he had to take care of everything because I physically could not do it.
Now, I'm also not one. I'm not very fond of medications.
Mm-hmm. You're natural. You like the
I like
you like
the natural things, and I understand that there are certain things that the all natural things cannot fix or heal or help. Like, I'm not completely naive to that fact.
Yeah.
But there's so much bad with the medication. Like, I don't understand why a doctor is going to say, oh, well, here is this medication that's supposed to help you.
But it also has a side effect that can make you want to die.
Right. Like, why not admit this person and monitor them? Be safer about it.
Well, and
I don't understand why mental health has to be such a problem.
And men's mental health is really bad because a lot of men don't want to reach out for help because they were raised, that men are supposed to be strong and things.
Right.
But,
you hide your feelings.
But that is one thing that can completely destroy your life and make you, do the things that man done to his family. And, I have sympathy for him just as much as I do for his wife and kids because he lived for 16 years not wanting to be on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing everything they could to get him help.
Well, and I think that suicide.
And if you all have your own story, please chime in because we would love to have people chime in on this. Men shit, you women give us mental health issues. Jimmy. Jimmy, you give me mental health issues.
You froze us.
I did.
Hang on, guys.
Oh, we're not froze on Facebook. We're just froze on here.
Oh, are we all still on Facebook?
Oh yeah, we're still good. I remember it done this last time. Our TV and our computer froze, so we're good. But it's not gonna show us. So.
I feel like or did you take us off?
No, you're fine. We're good.
Oh, when I was growing up, and this could have just been maybe like my parents' thing, because I feel I have learned in my adult life now, my parents did shelter me from a whole lot.
Oh yeah. Stories you told me, and I'm like, oh wow.
So when I was I think when we was in first grade, I had a little girl that was in, and it's crazy. Like that's another thing that I would love to talk to somebody about the brain. But that I can remember something from first grade,
Mhm.
and then the other day I couldn't remember what grade I was in. Apparently, when whatever we were talking
Well,
about.
but it's funny. I remember I broke my leg when I was young, right before Halloween, and I remember being on the bike. My leg went in the wheel because my older cousin was riding me on the handlebars. The handlebars went like this and dipped.
Yeah, but that's something that happened directly to you.
Oh, I can remember other things too. But it's just weird to remember things that far back. I wasn't even in school then. I was little.
When I was in first grade, I remember this little girl's mother had committed suicide. And the little girl that was in my class is the one who found her.
Oh my God.
So again, we were first grade when this happened. I
will never say somebody's selfish for killing themselves. However, if you do something like that you know that's who's going to find you.
So,
sorry.
I kind of remember the teacher talk. Clearly, I mean, I remember that. So, an adult somewhere had to tell us what happened.
Yeah, they probably was.
And I feel like it was the
teacher.
Yeah, I feel like the teacher had come to us and said, "Hey, we're not giving details.
Her mother passed away.
This is what happened."
And she probably told everybody.
Just be nice.
The little girl probably talked about it, and that's probably how you knew.
I think that we had. I can't remember that we had this conversation. I don't know. Like again, we were so young.
Yeah.
I was so young. But I also had I think she was a great aunt that did the same thing, and one of her sons found her. And I just think that's so sad, to be in that state to where you think that that's your only way out.
Well, and I was talking about, I have been in that position. That's why, when we talked about my medications and stuff, I was like, I'm not changing my medicine because at least I don't want to die. But at one point, I was speeding down 245, picking a tree to hit, and I did not want to be on this earth anymore. But something happened that brought me out of it, and it had to do with my kids. But I knew right then that I had to get help because I cannot remember if I had just had Caleb or if I'd just been pregnant with Caleb. I'm not sure. But I knew I had to get help because I did not want to be here no more. And that's a very draining place to be. And a lot of people don't understand that because they say it's selfish.
I don't understand it. I don't want to say that it's selfish. Although I probably have said that before because I can't wrap my head around.
Oh no,
that
me normally
state.
I cannot wrap my head around it. The only thing I can tell you though is that when you're in that, you're not thinking.
Now, have I had intrusive thoughts before?
Oh, we all have intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably normal for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually act on, I just don't think. I mean, for one. I mean, I've said it a billion times. I don't like pain. And it would be my luck. Whatever the hell I tried to do, it wouldn't work, and I would be in pain for the rest of my life, and that would be my punishment from God, saying,
"You did this,
there
and
you
now
go."
Well, but that's in high school and a little bit older when I became an addict to pain medication. I had gotten hurt cheerleading, became addicted to pain medicine. But at that point, I did not know what was going on. I just knew my brain needed it. And then when I would feel pain, I would cut myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have a lot of sympathy for people that are like that because I have gone through it. That's why when people are like, does this medicine work for you? I'm like, I'm not the best one to ask.
Well, and
because I had it so severely.
When my daughter was in high school, there was several young girls that went to school.
And by the way, I'm being super vulnerable, so please don't take all this and use it against me.
But there was several young girls in her high school that cut.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And again, I don't know. I have such a hard time. I really wish that I could talk to somebody that.
I'm not a professional, clearly. I can just tell you what it feels like when you go through it. But it's like when your brain is telling you you're in pain. Like you're physically in so much pain because you're mentally in pain. That you want to release that pain. And that's what causes it. And the doctors will tell you that.
I understand that, you saying that, I get it. But for me, no, I don't want to hurt.
And that's because thankfully you've never had to deal with that severity of a depression or anxiety. Because I wish I never had to, but here I am. And I never thought I was going to make it to 36 because I have been suicidal so many times. And thankfully, my kids have they've been my inspiration to get help and get back on the right track. And that's why, I'm separated from Justin and I moved into a different home because my depression was taken over again. And it was just not a healthy marriage anymore. And it was so toxic that mentally I couldn't wrap my head around my life anymore. So I had to create distance. And that's what I do. But there are people that just feel like they can't fix it. They can't get away. And when you do something like that, you are not in your right state of mind. And it's hard to explain, but just imagine being drunk, blacked out drunk. You don't know what's going on. And that's kind of what a psychosis feels like. You do impulsive things and you don't realize you're doing it.
So I'm curious because there's again, the insurance part of it, the health field part of it, I think it's failing us. It's failing us with the mental health awareness, with mental health help. It's failing.
Well, and that's why a lot of people don't understand this, and I'm just going to bring it up because I don't give a shit, but don't understand people being put on Medicaid or anything like that. I had to be because personal insurance would not cover my psychiatrist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
and if it did, I paid $2,000 a month.
Here's the other side of this. Because there are people out there that just like with everything else, they take advantage. They take advantage and they play. For one, you got lucky.
You met me. You're the luckiest woman alive.
I am very lucky, baby. Thank you.
I'm very good counselor. You want to talk?
No, you're not. No. You're a horrible counselor. Please do not
you
ever.
You would be the one that would be like, you're a mess. Which one of us? Both, probably.
Jimmy.
He said you're a mess. Oh, I'm sorry, Amy. That was Amy. Okay.
Amy said, Jimmy Hillard, you're a mess.
Yeah. I thought it was Jimmy again saying we were.
Please don't ever call my husband if you're in the state of
because honestly
falling off a bridge because he would say
if you want I was already saying, if you want the most blunt person that's going to be straightforward to your face, go to Jimmy. But if you need somebody to be comforting, don't go to Jimmy.
Yeah. If you want comfort, do not go to my husband, Jimmy. Please. But
you're the only one that sees that side of him. We don't.
There are people that use that and
it's a crutch.
I don't want to say no, not even that. I don't want to even sound insensitive about it, but it is a thing. They use it for attention.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have had an issue with people doing that, and they'll play off of you.
I guess that is kind of my question because addiction falls into this. Are you addicted to something and you're needing this medication for that addiction? Are you addicted to the attention that it's bringing to you? Is this part of the reason why healthcare systems are failing the mental health patients that truly need it, because there's so much out there that doesn't truly need it? Is that a thing?
Oh, absolutely. I've had issues with people when they have found things out about me that will literally take what I say or something and copy it. And you'll see them doing it. It's you have a mental issue, but it's not depression, anxiety, suicidal. It's attention. That's what you want. And normally you can pick those people out because it's easy for me because I guess maybe because I go through it, but I can literally tell you if somebody's faking it.
See, I'm not a good people reader. My husband is an amazing people reader.
I am.
Me, I'm not. I have to sit down and talk to you for a few minutes before.
Get to know you.
Yeah, I can decide. And it may even take me a couple of months to fully understand the true person that's in front of me.
Yep. Well, and I just got permission because I wanted to make sure that she was okay with this. But we were talking about suicide and things like that. So I got a call a few years back. And my niece Maddie was engaged to this man, and I get a call from her mother asking me how quick I can get to Louisville. And I had not talked to my niece in a while because there was some words said that were hateful with us that weren't. Her and I have never had a falling out necessarily, but it was just the distance thing.
Tension there.
Yeah, and but her mom called me. She said, "How quick can you get to Louisville?" And I was like, I'm at my brother's. I was in Shepherdsville, and she was like, Maddie just walked in on Trevor. He's dead.
And that was her fiance.
Yes, and it was her first day at work. She couldn't get a hold of him, and she found him. And I flew there. I got to Louisville
And
within minutes.
he had took his own life.
Yes, he had committed suicide. And
So was there signs
no,
there from that?
no, he was always kind of like goofy and stuff. But
But
it's
you know,
funny.
they say that
A
those
lot
are
of
the
people
ones.
that's the ones that
Yes,
do it
because
that
Robin
they covered up.
Robin Williams.
They
let
cover
him
their
in.
pain up with like laughter. But I remember getting to Louisville. The cops, ambulance, everybody was still there. He was still in the house, and she was outside in the yard. As soon as she seen me, I didn't even have time to shut my SUV door. And she slammed into me and was just like, you know, Aunt Kristen, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. And I'm gonna cry telling you the story. But you know, we had Tommy Williams and a few others rode with us, and we did a final ride for him because he loved old cars and motorcycles and things. And he had found out he had COVID, and he worked for UPS, and they weren't going to pay him, even though that it was during that time that you were supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
His final text was from them saying that he was not going to get paid, and that's when they think he done it.
That's probably what sent him
Because
over the
he was a
edge.
provider.
But clearly, something was wrong to begin with.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Clearly, there was.
But that, you know, he was a provider. He wanted to provide for my niece. He had just bought their home. I mean, he was 19 or 20. Maddie, correct me, because I know he was young. He was either 19 or 20. I think he was 20. And the only reason I can't remember is because during this time, like, so Maddie is my niece through my ex-husband that passed away of an overdose. And my ex-husband, he suffered from severe depression.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
which again gives in line
yes.
with being an addict.
Yes.
I have a friend who lost her nephew to suicide,
mm-hmm.
and there was no signs.
Well, see, Adam did not commit suicide. He, like, the person that gave him dirty drugs. I mean, no, he shouldn't have been doing drugs, but they sold him almost straight fentanyl and cocaine.
Yeah.
And heroin. So a hot shot's what it's called. It speeds your heart up, slows your breathing down, kills you. So that man is in, you know, prison for 10 years, which this year he's supposed to go up for parole, but I doubt he gets out, because he's not the only one he's killed. But during this time, so we had just buried Adam. I believe it was the year before. So Maddie had taken that hit because she was so close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even though he was my ex-husband, they were always still my family. Like, him and I would butt heads about the kids and stuff, but I never didn't love my niece and nephew because I watched them grow up.
Right.
And I always told them, I will always be there for you, no matter what. And I ended up staying at my ex-mother-in-law's and father-in-law's with Maddie probably for a month. I would go home at night. I'd take care of my kids in the mornings and stuff, and then I would go back down there. And she could not even go in a dark room, dark hallway. If a light got turned out, the fear in her was it was just her eyes killed me because she really cared about him.
And that's something that is so hard for those that are struggling. If this is something that has crossed your mind, if you've contemplated it, if you have even attempted it,
somebody.
Yes, please reach out because you need that help. But the pain and suffering that you leave for those that are still here,
yep.
Like, you may be released from your pain and suffering, but the ones that are still here, I don't even want to know what my husband says. Those are the ones that carry that suffering.
That's why you love
them.
me, Jimmy, because you read me. Well, and I think, and I want people to understand this. If you're going through something or you feel like you don't need to be here anymore, I'm a very open book when it comes to those things. Please come to me.
But in all means, go seek a professional too.
Well,
like, we're not professionals by no means.
If you go to a therapist or anybody like that, they take so much time. That's why when we talk about T or Tommy House or any of them, that's why I suggest them, because a therapist, it can take you 90 days to get into one. A psychiatrist, it can take so long.
And that's another thing. Like, and I know from experience that it does take you so long.
And now you all are talking. My professional people need to understand the difference between mental health and personality disorders. Absolutely.
Yes. Because there is a difference.
I was misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder because I had depression and ADHD. And they say women are the most misdiagnosed for bipolar.
Well, and the medications that they put you on, here comes Caleb.
We have Caleb here too. What,
Mom,
baby?
Mom.
Hey, what do you need?
Well,
Your cookies?
here,
Well,
they're
come-
right here,
Yeah, I was
baby.
about to say, Amber's got your cookies.
Like, you want to wave? You want to
Say
wave
hi.
to the people on TV? You got to come over here so they can see you. There you go.
All right, go eat your cookies.
All right. But yes, that is there, and the medications that they probably diagnose or give you to fix one probably interferes with the other. My wife bears me at home and does not.
They won't bring
a
me my pop.
Oh my God.
Uh,
No, you wasn't.
no,
Could just quit.
hi, buddy. I love you.
Okay.
Caleb. Oh, he's already gone. I'll tell him though. But so back to my niece and stuff though. That is like she struggles with mental health, and she's more of a natural person. But now she has these beautiful twins and is engaged to another man that is very touching. He went on the suicide walk with me and her mom and her. And we have a picture that day, and that's when I knew, like, he's a loudmouth and he's so obnoxious, but that's when I knew he'd take care of her, because he did not make
he cares
her.
and he understands.
Yes, he did not make her not love Trevor. He's still allowed. Like, we went to his dad's house the first Christmas after he passed away. I drove up there with her and her mom, and we went to his dad's and spent time with them and stuff. And hell, I got punched at his funeral from behind. It was quite funny because they hated my niece. They like wanted to say she done it, she caused it, this and that, and blah blah blah. But the reality was is that I had his phone, so I had seen that last text.
But even at that, even that last text, that wasn't what that could have been what
It just
sent
pushed him over the edge.
He already had the issues there that was not diagnosed.
And I'm
that
pretty
wasn't...
sure COVID is one of those things that brings on depression.
So here's a question: had he been to? I mean, had he ever that you know of, like talked to medical
that
professionals, like?
Oh my gosh!
Put on any?
You don't have to read this one, but look,
medications. Was he put on any medications? They're reading it. Just quit pulling his up. This is
her husband, love him, but not that I know of. I want to say he did get put on depression medication, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say it for certain. But like his mom
and bipolar disorder, I mean, that's something else that is an extremely hard thing to deal with.
Well, and you know, so I got put on a medication that I had been on for years because of bipolar, and it worked, but it's because it suppressed me. And then after I had Caleb, that's what they tried to put me back on, and I broke out in a rash. Apparently, you can grow an allergy to it, and I had grown an allergy to it. It almost killed me. Because it sends you into anaphylactic shock, and it's in your body, and you don't all of a sudden get the rash. It comes within like a week or so, because it's like one of those medications that takes time to get into your body, so it can kill you slowly. So I had to call my psychiatrist.
That is what is so scary about the medications that are out there that's supposed to help you. They can also harm you. So, and I guess that's why I'm so anti medication.
Well, and that's why, you know, when you and I talked, I was like, I'm not switching my medicine. I know I'm stressed out. I know that I've got a lot going on, but that's the thing. I have a lot going on. So my medication keeps me...
I could start a drinking game with how many times you say I'm pissed and be drunk under the table.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Look at how much I'm happy, too, though.
I get it, yeah.
And normally, if I'm upset or pissed about something, as soon as I talk about it,
you're fine.
I'm fine. I just needed to get it off of me.
You need to say it out loud.
Yes. And so that's, you know, I know that's the difference between me and a lot of people. I have learned my coping skills. Like if there's an argument, I'm not confrontational. Like I know a lot of people think I am, but I'm not. Like I do not like confrontation. But if it comes to me, buckle up, because I black out, and that's why I'm not no more. Because I remember one time my brother, his wife done something that pissed me off bad, and I went after her, and my brother tackled me onto the couch, and I had pulled away from him so hard, which he's a lot bigger than me. I'm tiny, but I had his bruised handprints in my thighs, and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I just blacked out. And I get that from my dad. My dad's the same way. So I've always watched him because if my dad blacks out, I know to back up.
I think that, like we just said a while ago, the ones that I don't want to say everybody has a lot of times.
Danny said a lot of times mental health can be caused by environmental or social issues. Yes, and
They
that's why they
can.
call season. Why did we freeze again? That's why they call it seasonal depression. This doesn't take us off, by the way. We're still through.
Seasonal depression, that is.
It's very true because
It is.
that's why they say stuff about being out in the sunlight, the vitamin
D.
But and that's probably why I like Travis and Chrissy. I love going to their lake and just soaking in the sun and fishing. Like I toss the fish back, and that to me is just so relaxing because it's what I need at that time. And I've realized that
vitamin D is very. People don't understand how important it is to have vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm struggling because I have a vitamin D deficiency, and I am on a vitamin D supplement for it. But once I can get out in the sun, I think that's probably going to help that too.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to say the sun, the sun, the sun is bad for you, but it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to have the vitamin D.
Well, and seasonal depression is so real. And that could be honestly another reason why my medication seems like it's not working as much for depression.
Right.
Because I am so drowned by my emotions at that time. So, I mean, I think it's hard to explain, really. And I mean, now that you're menopausal, your moods are, shifting like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you can kind of understand that part of it. And that's why I try to be understanding too when you're like snap into a bad mood, or you're like focused, like hyper focused on something because you're going to forget. And imagine living like that your whole life, because that's how I've been.
See, I don't think I could mentally do that.
You
like this morning, I woke up and I was being snappy with Jimmy, and he was like, "What is wrong with you? Like, I don't even want to be around you right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with you?" And I was like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's just not talk, and we'll be okay.
Yep. Well, and that's like last night I jumped Justin's ass on the phone, and it was literally probably for nothing. But I'm like, it's almost that time of the month, and I know that week before I'm going to get moody as hell, and he knows that. The problem is
I know that.
Oh, I know. Like, I mean, and it's funny because everybody's like, you're in your period. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's the week before. Get over it. Like, when I'm on it, I'm not moody.
Well, and that's another thing that plays into with the mental health situation. It's because, especially with women, and I know with men too.
Danny said grounding, and Danny said, Kristen, you were diagnosed with bipolar, but only deal with
the depression. I think and I just lost my train of thought.
Well, when you see how our faces keep freezing, y'all would get a good kick out of it because it's quite funny.
I seriously don't even know what I was going to say, and it was something good.
I'm sorry. But my niece, though, I just seen her and her twins, the other day. They celebrated their first birthdays and things, and seeing her as a mother and with her fiance, because he asked her to marry him on Christmas.
Oh, wait. So I remember that's why. And I don't want to cut you off.
You're fine.
But if I don't say it now, then I will forget it again. Like, to be in this state, because you said this is how you are constantly. Yep. Once I realized that, when it got to the point though where I couldn't even stand to be around myself, I had to go to my doctor and was like, do something.
Yep.
Like we've got to do something.
Uh-huh.
So I guess dealing with that constantly, like,
it's draining.
Go and say, fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever we have to do, let's fix this.
But when you say stuff like, I don't sleep, I don't eat, and things like that, imagine living like this your whole life, because that's what happened. Is that,
That's what I'm saying.
I just wrap myself up in it.
Don't be a statistic. Go get
help.
Go get the help.
Mm-hmm.
And please, people, if you are watching this,
Danny, can you please put T's information in the comments?
If you, or anybody that you have, or Danny, if you have other people too that people can reach out to, please do not be a statistics. If you recognize this in yourself,
and not for attention, but
no, if you recognize this in yourself, that there is something wrong with you, mentally, emotionally,
help.
hormonally, whatever
Mhm.
whatever the case may be,
Get the help.
reach out to somebody.
And it's like I said, I mean,
Start somewhere,
well-
even if it is to somebody that is a little bit quick, like a preacher, that you can
that's why I just tagged Tommy.
talk to until you can get into like
an actual therapist
a
because
healthcare
it helps
therapist.
a lot more, a psychiatrist really, but it helps so much when you're in that state to get it off your chest. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like my Facebook posts and stuff, when you're in that state, you need to get it out.
And see, I journal.
Yeah.
So there,
I actually just went and got my journal the other day so that I would start journaling again instead of like putting it out there, because once it's out of my mind, I can calm down.
And I have started, Jimmy makes fun of me for this, but I got one of those red light therapy lamps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are good for you.
And so every morning I take the time.
Justin said, my thoughts and my mental health is the way it is, and they feel that they have to have no safe place or outlet.
Oh, with men?
Yes. I'm going to leave that up for a minute too, because Danny just put T's information, you all, and T is, I've spoke to T. I mean, if you need somewhere to go, somebody to talk to, T, Tommy House, these are people that, we
Can
know
probably
are
get
safe
to
to talk
you
to. And
quick.
I was about to say, and if you message them and say, this is what I'm going through, I need some help, they're going to help
And
you.
listen, guys, though, these people are not people that are going to reach out to you.
You have to go to them.
You have to go to them. Like, make it a conscious I
love my kid.
thought to get this help.
Aubrey said, it's okay to ask for help. Just go about it in the right way, right and appropriate way. People get scared to ask for help, and then you suffer in silence. So go talk to anybody.
So this is coming from a 15-year-old.
That's my daughter.
And people are scared. And why are they scared? Why does it make somebody so? And I'm not saying this because I don't want, if you have this issue, I don't want you to think I'm insensitive to, because I'm not. I truly don't understand enough about it to say. All I'm saying is, if you need this, go get the help. Please go get the help.
Well, and that's why I say, even if you come to me just to get it off your chest, I'm not going to judge you. What you say is going to stay with me. She can vouch for that. I'm not going to go badmouth you. I'm not going to do anything that's going to put you in a worse position than you're in, because I needed those people and I finally found them. That's why I always say, it's peas and carrot, because I know 1000% Amber and Abigail have me. Like, those are the two people that
I can say,
Jennifer, like, specific. I left Bingo to go fish and dump on her emotionally. So
I'm not probably the best to give advice, because I don't.
When you've never gone through it, it's hard to give advice.
It is, and I'm not a sugarcoater either. Like,
you're not. No, you're not.
I
go to Abigail when I need it soft. I go to you when I need it straightforward.
So see, there's a difference. I'm not one that, like, I can tell you where your issues lay to, and
Amy Wayne said fear of rejection.
That's my sister.
I know. Yeah, that is another thing. When I was sitting here talking about judgment and things, like, that is a true thing. Because I know some people that I've gone to about things I've gone through, and they took my emotions and feelings and went and spread them everywhere. And it was a private thing. It was something I went through, and it was hard. And then, you get gossip and the rumors and just the drama and the bullshit. And it's like, I went to one person and I needed to get that off my chest. And like, I've gone through a lot in my life. And so it was hard to learn who was genuinely there and who was just there for the drama. Because a lot of people see that as drama, but really it's mental health. It really, truly is.
It is. And again, a man's
some are trained to feel the way, and you feel weak and vulnerable. Justin, you must not have been here on the beginning, because we talked about men's mental health.
Yeah, we said that men are told.
Danny said men don't let their ego and pride make you feel we don't need help. Ask.
Absolutely. Like, just because you're a man, and that was one of the things too that I was going to talk about, was the hormones, because women's hormones do play a big part in their mental health, I feel like. But I think it does with men too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
There's certain things
and men, it pisses me off honestly because I am one of those parents like you don't cry. But if you're gonna cry, have a reason. And I know people have
But
heard
what
me
if
say
your reason is just
just because.
because
Well,
that's my feeling
you
right
remember when
now?
I messaged you the other day and I was like, I'm so emotional and keep crying. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I do know why. It's because I'm overwhelmed about something. I just maybe not technically know what it is at that time. And then I
But
figured
that's
out
what
later.
I'm saying. Like this morning, I was saying, I don't know. I don't know why I'm so snappy with you.
But
It's
I am.
the same way of crying.
She
I don't
menopausal. Jimmy, leave
know.
her alone.
I don't know why I'm crying.
Yep. I told you the other day, take your damn
so
emotions back.
I get men can go through the same thing, and especially don't
And when
be afraid to ask for help, even if you don't want to let your significant other maybe know,
you
or
still can get
your
help.
friend.
You can get help now on the internet. You can do all kinds of things. They do FaceTime calls now, Zoom meetings, because that's what I used to do with my therapist was Zoom calls, which to me was not personable, so it's kind of hard to connect to her. But
I think that
it's
everybody has the mentality of when it comes to talking to a psychiatrist or shrink or whatever you want to call them, that you go in and you lay down on this couch and then they start conflicting and picking apart your childhood.
Yep.
And
they don't. So basically, and I've done this so many times with new people because I would not like the therapist or connect with the therapist because I hate when people are like, "Oh, you just didn't agree with what they said." No, they didn't like. I didn't get what I needed out of them.
And that's the thing too.
But when you first go to a psychiatrist or therapist or something, the first few times, they actually are trying to get to know you because a psychiatrist, they give you your medication. So they want to know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, they may give you something smaller or a lower dose or something like that, just to get you through to the next time.
This is why I don't keep my phone in my lap.
She got a FaceTime call. But a lot of men, and that's another thing, there's not as many men therapists. And I think men have a hard time going to women to ask for help.
Yeah. For the fear of being judged.
Well, and like my son, their dad passed away, and he has therapy. He goes to therapy through school, and he has a male therapist, and I really like this therapist. He talks just like Braylon's dad. Like first time I was on the phone with him, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna love him because he talks just like his dad did. Like the slang.
But see, I know of other male, and I don't know, maybe male therapists don't have, I don't want to say are not, don't have the sympathy as a female would, because I have seen a male therapist that was not as sympathetic as a female.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Danny also put on here, if you need help, the suicide hotline, dial 988. And I am very firm on that. So the problem is a lot of people that go into suicide mode, they go into like a psychosis. So when you feel yourself getting to that point, that is when you need to get help. Not
I think you should do it before that point.
Well,
I think
I'm not saying before. I'm saying like a lot of people just think, I'm having a bad day or whatever. But make sure you get that help before you get to the point where you're like thinking through how you're going to do things. So
here is another question, and Danny, maybe you are one that could answer this.
Danny's comment didn't show up.
Because we're
froze. We froze again. Hang on, Danny. I'm sure it popped up on y'all's end.
I wonder why it keeps doing that on that end.
Let's see. Okay, that one we read. Danny also said, men, I'm here in New Haven, Bardstown, if you need another man to talk to. And let me tell you something. Danny is one of the most real and genuine people.
Mm-hmm.
Him and T, like, they have done so much for Amber and I. And I genuinely stand on that. Danny and T are just phenomenal people.
They're amazing people, both of them.
And they're right here in New Haven. Don't struggle alone. Tommy House, he will message you. Message Tommy. Tommy will come to you. Tommy will talk to you. Danny, there is men out there, and that's another thing. if you feel that way, you do not have to go to church, but you can go to a preacher because they are trained
Mm-hmm.
and they can help you. Because a lot of the times talking helps because it gets it out. And you know you're not alone at that point because when
And
you're going
they
through it,
can
you're alone.
maybe, guide you to where you can get additional help
Mhm.
or further the help that you're seeking.
Yes. And that's
Suffering alone, you don't have to do that. That's something
No.
that you do not have to do.
no, and um, I've told Amber this before, but I always say it's hard to be my friend because I am such a blunt person. But I'm also not.
You're spastic.
Yes, I'm a squirrel. Genuinely, I'm just up and down. And it's hard to be my friend and understand those things because I've gotten upset with you and just kind of backed away from you. And it's
Mhm.
not that I was upset with you, I was upset with the situation just because I don't like when things change. And that's not your fault. But it was just a me thing. And I know that.
Mhm.
Like, I know there's no reason to be mad. And I'm like, I wish I could not be. And then once I talk about it, like we talked about,
And
I was
well, and
fine.
it took you a while too to get used to the fact that I
You say it
I
like it
tell
is.
you, yeah, I tell you how it
Uh-huh.
is, and if I feel like you're in the wrong, then I'm like,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because if you all
that's
think
not
just because we're
really-
close that she agrees with me all the time, oh no. She might stand up for me and stand out there with me, but she's going to tell me in private, hey,
Mhm.
you're wrong. And I'm the same way with her. Like, I don't tiptoe around it, but we are kind of blunt with each other.
Mhm.
I always say I go to Abigail for it soft, and I go to you when I want it straightforward. But don't be alone because I'm 36. I just now found my friend group, like my genuine friend group, which I've had Jennifer a lot longer than you all, and then I met y'all, and our husbands were like, they're not going to get along, and you and I just hit it off. And I always say I don't know what I would do without you and Abigail now at this point in my life because I lean on y'all so much emotionally, like mentally, and it's hard to find people like that you can do that to.
It is, but at the same sense too, because we are talking about the mental health and the mental health awareness and everything. Manic depressive, is that what you're talking about? I don't even know where it came from.
I'm not
like,
sure.
why are we talking about manic?
Manic episodes maybe.
Oh,
Because like when you're bipolar or something, you're manic.
you have manic episodes.
Yes.
You're high and you're low,
Which is why
and
ADHD and bipolar and anxiety and things get misdiagnosed as bipolar because my anxiety makes me like anxious,
Mhm.
my depression makes me down,
Yeah.
and then my ADHD makes me squirrel off. So that's why my moods can do that.
go up and down and everywhere.
But if you knew me before my medication, you'd be like, oh yeah, you're a lot better. Like you're a whole lot better because I can actually step away from situations now. Before I would be in your face, like I didn't care, and that's dangerous when you're as little as me. So I always say that I'm like, somebody pissed me off one time, and I was like, I will climb you like a spider monkey. Like I might be little and you might kick my ass, but you will know I was here, because I will never back down. But now I'll still stand up for myself, but I'm not just going to go cause a problem.
Yeah.
But before, if you said something I didn't like,
but here is like, even if you have your friends, and it is very important to find those friends that
Mhm.
you can talk to and you can have these conversations with. But if you are in that state of mind, reach out to a professional.
Absolutely.
Reach out to somebody that can guide you in the right direction.
Mhm.
Like, we've got T's information is here.
And Danny, you can get to Danny through T or through his comments. Click on his Facebook. I tagged Tommy. And
Danny and T both are with Highly Favored
Productions
here in New Haven.
So they're right beside the bar.
You can reach out to either one of them. Tommy House, like she said, Tommy House is another good one. Hopefully, I'm still waiting on confirmation on this, but hopefully we will be having a professional.
You have to find the yin to your yang when it comes to friends.
No.
Oh yeah, yin and yang, Justin and Jimmy.
I'm telling you,
well,
my husband's the worst person.
And that's why I say, like, okay, so I'm not saying just go to your friends, but I'm saying
it is important to have that friend.
I'm just saying that it takes so long to get to a professional. Reach out to those people. And T is a professional. Tommy is a professional. Danny, I love you. I don't know your credentials, so I'm not going to say, but I know he's good to talk to and lean on. But when you can't get to those people, or it's going to be a little bit longer than you need, reach out.
Yes,
Like
don't
a
do it
friend, me,
alone.
I don't care. Just get it off your chest, because that is the most heavy burden. It's a burden. It's a burden on your life, because you become somebody you're not.
Hopefully, like I said, I'm still waiting on confirmation. Hopefully, we will have a professional, if not next week, in the coming weeks. One day coming up soon. A
Jamie said there's nothing
professional.
wrong with have God and a therapist too. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Turn to God. I mean,
Mhm.
turn whatever you're comfortable with to get that help that you need.
Yep.
Do it.
Whatever gets you the help you need.
You know, Tommy sat here the other day and he was like, I prayed and was like, please just remove this from me
Mm-hmm.
to get me right. And that's what happened.
And it's okay if you don't believe in God. We're not saying that you have to.
Right.
Like, that's our beliefs and things that we lean on and stuff. But, and I'm not going to sit there and say you come to me and, you want to, off yourself, and I'm going to be like, God this and God that and blah, 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 because that's my beliefs. But I will be your listening ear and help guide you to a professional.
Well, and again, hopefully within the next week or at least a couple of days, we will have an actual professional counselor in here that can talk more about the mental health issues on a professional level with it.
Because we did have PLG TV, they canceled on us. So we will not have them next week. But now that we know it's mental health awareness, we're going to work on that aspect of it, because we want you all to get the help you need. If you need
a professional of where, what mental health looks like, because it looks different to everybody.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many people thought I was the happiest person ever.
Everybody has a different how they cope with it, what it looks like to them.
I shop for the endorphins.
Everything it looks different for everybody. Like what I do when I'm down and out is something totally different from what you do when you're down and out.
I don't know. We both like to shop.
True. But I mean, here, I don't know. Here lately, I just want to be left alone. Like, just let me curl up in my ball.
Well, and you and I have talked
about
that.
Golden Girls for a couple of days and just leave me alone.
Well, and like the text and stuff between you and Abigail and me, like, we still talk every single day, but it's so sporadic. It used to be all the time, but we're all kind of.
And I'm hoping that with bringing the professional on, because I do know for a fact that she does deal with a lot of youth, mental health and youth, which to me is extremely important.
Absolutely.
I don't want to say more so than adult mental health, because I don't want to compare the two, and I want to say one is more important than the other. But to be able to have that stability for our youth mental health, I think that is a huge
They're going to grow to be adults
with the adult mental health.
And furthermore,
issues.
Think about, teenagers and stuff. They're going through hormonal changes and things like that, and they need that help. And kids rely on us as adults to get them the help they need.
Right.
Whereas us as adults, yes, sometimes we need to like have somebody help us get help, but a child actually relies on us to take them to get them the help.
Right.
And that's like, kids are going to be adults, and to me, in a sense, they are more important, because they're going through way more.
In my personal opinion, and guys, listen, don't shoot the messenger. It's just my personal opinion. In my personal opinion, when it comes to youth and mental health, our system is failing horribly bad at it.
Well,
all the way around.
Look at all of our school shootings, all the theater shooting that happened, the club shootings that have happened in Florida and things like that. The guy that ran into people with his vehicle during a parade.
And I do think that the system also fails adults at times.
Absolutely.
Also, but
it fails us all. It needs to be revamped. It needs to be fixed. It should not be this hard to get help, because it is hard. I don't even go to my therapist anymore, and my psychiatrist does a Zoom meeting with me, because that's what's easier for them to get through people so quickly. But I mean, I've had this psychiatrist for years, so she knows me now.
Right.
And She actually downsized, and I was one of the people she like was comfortable like letting another person have because I was medicated and I was flatline, like I wasn't moody. But she actually took me back like last month, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad because I've become comfortable with her. And that's something else that happens.
Yeah.
They toss you around sometimes. And don't get me wrong, the woman that I was tossed to, I liked her, but she did not know me. She did not know my story.
You have to start all over.
Yes. And when you've gone for years with one person, but the reason she sent me to somebody else is because she knew she had me medicated and I was the way I needed to be.
Well, and two though, I mean that can be hard too because you're already in a depressive, manic mental state of mind.
Yep.
And then when you have to go in with somebody else, even though you are that medicated or whatever, you have to start all over scratch with this person because this person doesn't know your whole story.
They don't.
And that's why I feel like sometimes, the system fails. The system fails.
It truly does.
And I would love to know. So maybe, if you're listening out there, then you can guide us too also, because I would love to know other ways that people can reach out for help, other than like the ones that we've listed that we know personally. And that's just because we know these people personally, T and Danny and Tommy. Yes. But if you know of somebody else that is, because I feel like that so many people, they do suffer in silence, and that doesn't need to be a thing.
No, it really don't. So just, we named 3 people that we know for a fact can help you, that would be there for you. Open up. If you need any help, I can help get you to them. Just do what needs to be done to get you back on the right track. Don't suffer alone.
Again, hopefully we will have a professional on soon that can help guide us in better directions on this. It is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're just trying to get the word out there and to not suffer alone, guys. Thanks for tuning in today.
To us 2 heifers at play.
See you next time.
Bye.